My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good morning, and welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. Today we're going to do a little poetry reading, and I'm going to read it out of a book I've had for many years. Let me show it to you. The Poetry of the Negro from 1746 to 1970. We're going to start with Langston Hughes. I want to start with the merry-go-round. I love merry-go-rounds. You love merry-go-rounds? Even at my age, I will get on a merry-go-round because it just brings back such wonderful memories when I was a child and I used to go to Riverside Park, and the first thing we used to do was get on the merry-go-round. And that's the days when we had to have tickets, and my parents couldn't afford very many tickets, so we knew our rides we could only have about 2 or 3 rides. So the first ride was always the merry-go-round. And this is Langston Hughes. Merry-go-round. Where is the Jim Crow section on this merry-go-round? Mister, 'cause I want to ride. Down south where I come from, whites and coloreds can't sit side by side. Down south on the train, there's a Jim Crow car. On the bus, we're put in the back. But where there ain't no back to a merry-go-round, where's the horse for a kid that's black? Langston Hughes. I picked the next poem. Let America be America again. We hear today, let America be great again. Well, here's Langston Hughes in, this copyright was about 1938, so I guess it was written around the mid-30s, 1930s. Let America be America again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love where never kings convey nor tyrants scheme. That any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you? The mumbles in the dark. And who are you that draws your veil across the stars. I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the goal, of grab the ways of satisfying needs, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bound men to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all. I am the people, worried, hungry, mean, hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today. O pioneers, I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic plan in that old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in every furrow turned. That makes America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shores and Poland's plains and England's grassy isles, and torn from black Africa's strands, I came to build a homeland of the free, a dream still beckoning to me. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be an everlasting seed. Its dream lies deep in the heart of me. We, the people, must redeem our land, the mines, the plains, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plains, all the stretch of these great green states and make America again. Langston Hughes. Is that different from making America great again? Langston Hughes said in 1930, we're not there yet. We ain't never been there, but we're going to get there. Well, I don't know what make America great again, but I understand this poem. I understand this. All of us have suffered in America, haven't we? We've all had our turn under that thing. Some of us longer than others. Langston Hughes says, let's make America great again. Let's make the dream come true for all those who came to America and had that dream. For all us who were in slavery and had that dream of freedom. Well, that's all I got to say about that. The next poem is For My People, and it's from Margaret Walker, but I couldn't find a date on this one. Couldn't find a date. For my people. For my people everywhere, singing their slave songs repeatedly, their dirge and their ditties and their blues and jubilees, praying their prayers nightly to an unknown God, bending their knees humbly to an unseen power. For my people, lending their strength to the years, to the gone years, and the now years, and the maybe years, washing, ironing, cooking, scrubbing, sewing, mending, hoeing, plowing, digging, planting, pruning, patching, dragging along, never gaining, never reaping, never knowing, and never understanding. For my playmates in the clay and the dust and sand of Alabama's backyard, playing, baptizing, and preaching, and doctor and jail and soldier and school and mama and cooking and playhouse and concert and store and hair and Miss Chubby's and company. For the cramped, bewildered years we went to school to learn to know the reason why and the answers to and the people who and the places where and the days when, in memory of the bitter hours when we discovered we were black and poor and small and different, and nobody cared, and nobody wondered, and nobody understood. For the boys and girls who grew in spite of these things to be men and women, to laugh and dance and sing and play and drink their wine and religion and success, to marry their classmates and bear children and then die of consumption and anemia and lynching. For my people, throng 47th Street in Chicago and Lenox Avenue in New York and Rampart Street in New Orleans, lost, disinherited, dispossessed, and happy people filled the cabarets and caverns and other people's pockets, needing bread and shoes and milk and land and money and something all our own. For my people walking blindly, spreading joy, losing time, being lazy, sleeping when hungry, shouting when burdened, drinking when hopeless, tied and shackled and tangled among ourselves by the unseen creatures who towered over us ominously and laugh. For my people, blundering and groping and floundering in the dark of churches and schools and clubs and societies, associations and councils and committees and conventions, distressed and disturbed and deceived and devoured by money-hungry, glory-craving leeches, preyed on by facile force of state and fad and novelty, by false prophets and holy believers. For my people standing, staring, trying to fashion a better way from confusion, from hypocrisy and misunderstanding, trying to fashion a world that will hold all the people, all the faces, all the Adams and Eves, and their countless generations. Let a new earth rise. Let another world be born. Let a bloody peace be written in the sky. Let a second generation full of courage issue forth. Let a people loving freedom come to growth. Let a beauty full of healing and a strength of final clenching be the pulsing in our spirits and our blood. Let the martial songs be written. Let the dirges disappear. Let a race of men now rise and take control. Margaret Walker. Now we're going to have just a break, a little commercial, and I will be right back for our next reading.
We all know smoking is harmful, right? But did you know that even after the smoke clears, the danger remains? This is called third-hand smoke. Third-hand smoke is the toxic residue left behind on surfaces like furniture, walls, or even clothes. These harmful chemicals can linger for days, weeks, or even months. Young children and pets are especially vulnerable. They can ingest these toxins simply by touching contaminated surfaces and then putting their hands or toys in their mouth. The best way to protect your loved ones? Make your home and car completely smoke-free. Remember, it's not just about the smoke you see, but the unseen toxins you leave behind. Protect your family from third-hand smoke. Choose a smoke-free environment.
Hi, my name is Cammie Starks. I would recommend any parent to participate in this program due to the fact that it helps us learn about what the kids are learning and also to better our children in the community. And I just give thanks to those, Lucy, that recommended me to come to the program, and it's just been an honor and finding out the development of the children of the school systems that's very needed, and I just give thanks, and I ask that any parent friends, family to, participate, because it's very helpful to find out what's going on with the children and also to help the children. And I just give thanks.
Welcome back to Miss Cleo's Storytelling Corner. I brought this old book with me that I've had. I don't think it wasn't put together very well because it fell apart very quickly, but it had wonderful stories in it. And it's Black Folk Tales by Julius Lester. And I really admired Julius Lester. He put the Brer Rabbit stories together, the Uncle Remus stories together, and the complete volumes. I did call him. I think he was in Massachusetts. I did call him once to talk to him because I was going to do a play that he was that he had put together, but he was sick at that time and couldn't talk to me. I never got a chance to talk to him again. This particular story, I usually tell it. I don't usually read it, but I'm gonna read it. It's important to read sometimes. And I've told this story every year during throughout the year, but basically I tell it every year during Black History Month, because it really speaks to me, and I've really grown with this story, and I've had so many different emotions with this story. I almost got fired telling this story one time. I think I told it to it was a mixed audience. It was basically a white audience, and I worked for these people, and they were doing something on racial awareness, sensitivity, or something like that. They said something. They always tell you the most inappropriate things when they tell you they're never the truth. I said, what is this crap that they tell the truth? Give us a real story, So they was telling stories, and I'm looking at them. I said, I really get sick of this, and so it was my turn, and I had pondered over this overnight, saying, what should I do? Should I tell that story? Keep on stepping. Should I tell that story or should I tell that story? And I thought about it, and we had a lady on our staff that was from the South. She reminded me of, those ladies from the South, those proper Southern ladies that just knew everything, and she just had, she was just one of those, what do you call them? There's a name, but, those princey young white ladies, Southern, and got that that little cute Southern accent. It's just right, but of course they say all the words just properly, Though that sort of kind of woman. And I thought about her too before I told the story, but they were just messing up this integration things. I don't know why they get so scared when they have to do these things. None of us was there. I mean, I wasn't your slave. You weren't part of slavery. Of course, you're probably part of what's going on today, but that came from slavery. But still, we're trying to open our eyes and see, And so usually when I tell the story, I said now, and I have to, I say it because I'm afraid people are gonna feel some kind of way. So I always say, I always tell them that none of us was born during slavery. I was not a slave of that sort, and you were not the slave owner. So take it easy when I'm telling the story, okay? Don't go get all bent out of shape. But there's so much truth in the story because we all need this. And I'll tell you some of the emotions that came after I told the story. But I'm going to read the story today. I don't know how I sound when I tell the story. I might sound a little, I don't know. Maybe I sound a little angry. I don't know how I sound. But let me just get these pages. The pages, see, the pages are all ripped out of the book. And so I want to just, okay. All right, we're going to get this together. Alrighty. Did I lose the beginning of the story? Wait a minute. Gotta put some of these pages down here because and put it many times I've put this book together. And well, if I skip some, I'll just tell it. That's all. You just keep on stepping. All right. This is what I found. All right. Keep on stepping. White folks are something else. Always been like they are now. Just don't want to let a nigga be a man. Somehow, they figure if you become a man, they ain't one no longer. Well, back during slavery time, there was a black man by the name of Dave. He was slaving on a plantation somewhere in Tennessee. One day, he was out working in the field, and he saw old Missy and old Massa and old Missy's 2 children out in a boat, screaming. They lost the oars, and the boat was out of control, spinning around, and they were about to be drowned in the river. Now, if Dave had been a field nigga like High John, he would have swum out there and tipped that boat over. Dave wasn't like that. He probably been working in the sun too long and couldn't think straight. Anyway, he ran to the big house and told Massa and Missy. Oh, Missy hollered out, "Please, somebody save my children. I ain't never gonna have no more, and them's the only 2 I's got." So Dave ran down to the river, jumped in, and saved the 2 children. Well, old Massa and Missy was very happy. And Massa told Dave, "Well, nigga, if you make a good crop this year and fill up the barn and work till the crops are laid by next year, I'll give you your freedom." That's what I mean about white folks. He couldn't give Dave his freedom just because he saved the children. Dave had to save the children, plus do all the plowing and the planting and the hoeing the next year. Then, if he did all that, he'd get his freedom. Dave was free all the time, just didn't know how to enforce it. Anyway, Dave worked like a champ to make a good crop that year. He made such a good crop that it not only filled the barn, but half the house too. So, after the crops were laid by the next summer, Master called Dave into the house. Well, Dave, I'm a man of my word. You're a free nigger today. Yes, you are. I sure hate to get rid of a good nigger like you. But I promise. So he gave Dave one of his old suits of clothes and a few other things. The children were crying, and old Missy was crying, and old Master was kind of sniffling himself. But Dave tied the clothes in a bundle and put them on the end of a stick and took off down the road, walking real slow. Old Master called out after him, "Dave, the children loves you." "Yassa," Dave called back. "Dave, I loves you." "Yassa." And Missy, Missy, she like you." "Yassa," he said. "But remember, Dave, you still a nigger." As long as Dave was in sight, Master was standing there on the porch hollering, "Dave, the children loves you. I loves you. And Missy, well, Missy, she like you. But remember, Dave, you still a nigger." Dave would holler back, "Yassa," but he kept right on stepping until he got to Canada. Even though Master had let Dave's body go free, he still wanted to keep him a slave by hollering, "Remember, Dave, you still a nigger. You ain't free long as you let somebody else tell you who you are." You got black people today walking around in slavery 'cause they let white folks tell them who they are. But you be like Dave. Just keep on stepping, children. When you know you right, don't matter what they yell after you. You just keep on stepping. And that's keep on stepping. And so keep on stepping. Now let me tell you about some of these things. I've told some of you this before. I was at an event and they made me mad because I was trying to be really nice to these people. I was the only black person in them, and I was the storyteller. And there was all these philosophers and religious people there, and Christian educators, and so I just told them a story about the woman took and the man something, some kind of story like that I've told before. Haven't told it in a long time. And So I told that story. And that was in the days, I think it was in the 80s or the 90s, women live was a really big thing. And they got to be women's liver, and they started talking about women's liberation and all that, because at the end of that story, she went up to heaven and God, she asked for those keys on the mantle, and God gave them to her, and she went. The devil told her, go up, tell God, ask God to give you those keys on the mantle. So she went up there to God, gave him his proper praise and respect, asked him for the keys on the mantle, and she came down, and the devil told her what to do with those keys. Well, people were really upset about that story. So I was so mad after I had tried so hard to have a decent story, It's kind of, so I wouldn't tip the hit this way or that way. So I said, you want to hear a story? I'm going to tell you a story. And I told her, I went up to the director there, and I said, all right, I'm going to tell you a story tomorrow, and I'm going to really tell you a story. And she kind of figured that I was a little upset. And so the next day, she had all these get acquainted games. You know how you do, you play these games so you get acquainted, and everybody was happy with everybody, and you get together and you talk and all of that stuff. And we had breakfast and everything. And now it was time for me to tell a story. In my mindset, I said, I wanted them to be master, calling after Dave. I actually wanted them to be a little ashamed. So I told a story. I looked around, and some of these people are crying. I'm saying, oh my God, what's wrong with them now? I didn't know what was wrong with them. All I wanted to do was get out of the room. And my son had just walked in at that time. I was so glad to see him, because I really wanted him to get me out of there. But when the people started to talk, this is what they said. This is what they said when they started to talk. They said, I had an experience once. There was a time where I had to keep on stepping. And everybody who spoke was Dave carrying that stick away, because he had to keep on stepping. And every one of those people that spoke, that were emotionally charged by that story, had something in their life that it was hard, but they had to keep on stepping. Boy, did I learn a lesson that day. I don't direct stories. I don't try to direct stories anymore. I let them go where they're going to go. And that day, my son got me out of there. I said, please take me out of here. And when I got in the car, and I don't know how he found the place, because it was way up in the woods somewhere, I just rested and went to sleep. And no longer do I direct stories to anybody. I do stories that speak to me, and I tell them. Read poems that speak to me, and I don't tell them I don't tell or try to think of where I want them to go. I just want someone to get a message from whatever I do, and whatever story or poem or that I read or tell. So that's my program today. Poetry, Black History Month. Poets and writers, they tell the stories, so much better than a lot of us. They get to our feelings and bring them out so we can express them, They get in there and they work our emotions and our feelings so we can express what we feel. They free us up. God bless them. Now, it's time for me to go, and I'll see you next week with another program or another whatever. Be with me. Share this time with me. Miss Cleo and her confusion and whatever she's going to bring forth. So bring forth it with me. Give me some of your ideas if you have any ideas. Tell me what you like and what you don't like. Sometimes I hear from them. We hear from them sometimes, don't we, Stan? Yeah, sometimes we hear from you, and we really appreciate that. But for right now, read a little, write a little, dream big, and keep on stepping.